Mouth, mouth, breath, breathe. For the E is a change inducing sound, and as a letter, a word altering tool, and it is as such that our language is enriched by its presence or absence, for its capacity to transform the sound, though not always the meaning, of a word, is indeed a most noble trial of its very being there, especially at the end where it is most powerful. Your mouth will know what I'm saying. Your tongue will be a second witness. There, inside my head, he said, is where it moves and lives. And anyone who wants to see its face has but to speak. This is the way the story starts. And the ending isn't any different, except that now and then your name appears where another's should be. Forces take out what you thought you'd inherit. Just as dawn breaks bloody and silent, just before day is declared, there are so many stars we give up counting. Atrocities beg to be understood. Suffering doesn't explain the essential, absurd predicament of the planet, ridiculously spinning. Final endeavor, beginning to us a revelation, first-hand imaginings above what comes hidden, tasted fire the moment you trespass sadness. After a moment of conception, every other is a deception. You're left to pick up pieces of song that should have become bird, flown with your soul in its beak. Nowadays, monogamy is equivalent to celibacy. Sexuality does not disconnect you from the world just because a computer is always on. This behavior turns out to be an alternate lifestyle, but there is more to this than meets the blood-brain eye systematically calculated to enhance the appetites of the flesh. Not long ago, sexuality was set free to be sensuality depending on the wishes of the participants. Not too long ago, the heaviness of the body upon body was lifted by a mere change of mind. Passion returns to feelings and removes guilt and shame regarding our common nakedness. Come away from indolence. What your feelings lead to you and sex, which always has something to do with it, can hardly burn. Dizzy with the urge to bite the lips that would speak the necessary tones before the lost eloquence of flesh. We fight, sleep, but sleep always wins. We take our minds and put them in a safe place. We wake up a light for a light, but sleep comes on and takes over every bit of light. Sleepy, we fall ever deeper in to a place not so distant. We fight, sleep, but sleep always wins.
Thank you, Alex. I think this is, I don't know how about you, but this is just the kind of thing I needed. Thank you so much. That was really
You're
beautiful.
welcome.
Very beautiful, very healing, peaceful, obviously philosophical. Ooh, you have no idea how calm I feel all of a sudden.
I'd love to hear more of that, like
Yes,
hear it for an
yes,
hour or something.
yes,
I think he has more if you let him.
I'm sure. Well, it's up to everybody. How do you feel?
Well, no, he planned out for a certain amount of time. So, and this isn't, it's barely that time now. So,
Oh, I go with the flow here.
more.
More. Kit, Rich, Scott, more? Karen, more, everybody?
Kit's
Well,
giving 2 thumbs up. So,
Alex, please.
Very,
Every salon is so different. It's
You
fantastic.
snapped and went into a slow motion spin that opened your eyes and you witnessed each detail in detail, everything vividly pronounced, each minimal change significant, endless forgiveness is needed in life to make it through in one piece. When did the death begin to work on the body? From the very beginning, even from birth. No, not the death that comes to us all, but the one that claims a victim the way you claim a seat at a theatrical performance. Life brought us just so close and then no further, just so close to call it touching, just so close and no further, gone and returned and acquainted. We call each other by our taken names. When did the death first introduce its peculiar way to make you go? At what moment, on what day was your seed sown for the tailor-made event called his death and nobody else's? There is no inside to this room. I go sit by the fire and warm my hands, too rigid to keep moving my mind in circles and music. I get up, walk onto the balcony, and look out at my heart. After these speculations, I wonder about the door. When will it appear? The doorknob always in my hand, a firm breast. This time, taking a step means moving towards an answer in real space. The wound is now the door. It is beginning, it is bleeding onto yet another room, just as near and wide. This is where you come in. It is the guide. It's the guide. It's the guide. The guide. The guide. It's the guide. Thought is never enough. You can take a look at what that looks like. Can you blow that up?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Hold on. Maybe the glasses will help.
It does fill up the whole screen. Alex, if you talk, you're the center of attention, and then it's
It's
shown
the
bigger.
guide.
Yeah.
At the gate. It is the screen full.
Yep.
Vegetarian with overbite. No need to panic. You who are made of flesh, no need to avoid the water or the woods. You who are frail creatures, easily turned into a meal, no need to freak out and run away from civilization and the world. You are desirable, both as food and as friend. No need to panic or worry. You may be bruised, but you will not be eaten. You may be scared, but you will not be consumed, except maybe by my eyes that are so fixed upon your form, they see nothing else, and nothing else will do. Learn to fly. Learn to swim. Your life may depend on it. You are so eatable. You are so frail and moist and tender. You make me want to say bon appetit every time you take your clothes off.
That's where the Sicilian comes out, merging food and the senses.
You think that's what it is?
It was just a little stereotype.
Well, I wouldn't mind doing that in stereo. Formerly, formerly, lovely, 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 formerly, formerly, lovely, formerly, lovely, formerly, lovely. on second thought, a second thought thinks, what is it that is second to thought? And such things that change and evolve further than what thought is able to reach past those boundaries out into the open range where words are themselves, and so are you. What do you think?
Hard to say in a few words. I already said what I think ahead. Give us a moment to breathe. There's a lot to digest. And I don't mean only that if sleep always wins, then I'm okay if they call Biden the Sleepy Joe.
Yeah, he's okay. The
As long as
moon
he
last
wins.
night, I want you to know, the moon last night was laughing.
That's good.
And I think that that is good advice for all of us, to laugh and be hopeful, you know, because the last couple of days, the moon has been worried. The moon has been full of disgust for humanity, especially the United States. But the moon this morning is laughing. The man on the moon, that is, he's laughing, and he advises us to be hopeful and do exactly what we're doing right now.
That's very nice. And maybe he's laughing for my birthday, which is coming up in a few hours. So that's a very nice news for me personally also. Thank you. Yeah,
in 2 hours?
Yeah. At night, of course.
Oh,
here in Europe. Europe, for those
time
who don't know. For those who don't know. Thought is never enough. Yeah. One doesn't have to be an artist to, or I guess one has to be an artist to know that, or to feel that thought is never enough. Speech is never enough. One thing is never enough. And you show so much of that in your art with the sound and bringing everything together. And not just that, as I said earlier, the ephemeral into the eternal. Now I see even more. I didn't even know, but now I see even more how you play with time in your work, how you travel different timelines and bring them together into something new.
I like that. I like that.
It's always interesting. Everything you do, Alex, is interesting to listen to. I love your work.
I do wonder if nobody else has a comment at the moment, or I do wonder, are you in all the different places that you have lived? Are you always the same? Are you different? Is your art different? Are your expressions depending on place different?
Well, to begin with, I'm very aware that I'm never in just one place at any time. You know, a phrase of Ezra Pound comes always back to me in this connection. He says somewhere, and it's a little bit, maybe I'm not quoting it precisely, but he said, all historical times are contemporaneous. And I think that's the way I view myself, as, you know, I'm still the 6-year-old boy. You know, I'm still the 90-year-old man about to die. I'm still I give myself 90 years. I'm very realistic. You know, I'm everything, you know, that I could, I don't think of myself as one person. Let me put it that way.
Maybe I actually was mistaken. It's not the times; it's the places that I wonder about.
Mm,
Do different places have a different effect on you?
absolutely.
Mm.
Last year in August, I was doing some research on volcanoes and the people that live with volcanoes near the in the Mediterranean, Stromboli and Pozzuoli there, and Sicily with the Etna, and I was able to, it was like I never left. It wasn't, it was simply a matter of walking into it and just picking up the conversation. I would go to the square, where all the old men sit around and talk, and I would sit down and just enter the conversation. It was
Yes.
always so beautiful. I could the old fishermen, you know, and so it was just a matter of I found it very. Uh, I don't see any displacement. At times here in Utah, I find myself, in the 1860s. I could walk into a place, and it's not, it's evoking in my mind, and um, some of the belief systems that I share with some of the folks here. I'm closer to their great grandfather, than to the children,
Mm.
you know, and I feel like a kinship with the older folks in any place I go to, you know. But yeah, this is why I like the cantos again of Ezra Pound, because he's constantly traveling. One moment, he's in Egypt, and two lines later, he's in ancient China, and two lines later, he's in the West in Idaho, and I like this kind of shifting, that time and place and space are not, they're not. This is why I like this medium, this asynchronous or online thing, because it's I want to treat this as if this is a real thing. I don't really treat this as a virtual performance or a virtual experiment, because it doesn't mimic anything. It is as real as anything else is. This exchange that we're having right here, so I try to, as much as possible, to ignore the virtual aspects of it and to play with the real possibilities of this language that this technology gives us, that we need to explore more and more. Uh, Please take a look at my, I just finished a performance. I call it a conjuring of Allen Ginsberg's Howl. It's on YouTube. And that was another experiment I just finished, you know. So it's the
Great.
idea of the what? It's on YouTube. Just Allen Ginsberg conjured. So this the fact that we're here together in this way, is very important to consciousness. I see it as an altered form of consciousness that we're in right now, and not a virtual one of, like, if we're really at a meeting in a board, and this is like a fake or a simulation of that. To the degree that it is that, is to the degree that we're not really sharing everything that we could share.
But can you ever?
No, not even when you're in person.
Exactly.
But we must constantly make efforts.
Yes.
Yeah, the efforts is very important.
I feel the
Because
same way about this forum that we have created. That's why I'm trying to keep it as real as possible and just
Mhm.
like a safe space, if you want to say so, just like really free and authentic and small.
Yeah,
That's why I'm glad
absolutely.
it keeps being small.